Hey guys, another One Take Review. Today I wanted to talk about an album that I first of all meant to listen to earlier than I did, and especially meant to get around to making a video about than I did, and that is the latest Animal Collective album, Time Skiffs. Besides the fact that this is probably the most hype that's been built around an Animal Collective record in a while, I also wanted to review this just because it's actually the first album of theirs to pique my interest, probably since Merryweather Post Pavilion, and I mean, I hate to really sound like your average Fantano watcher by saying that, but I mean, that really is kind of the last album of theirs that's really made me want to go out and listen to it beyond maybe the singles, so I was very interested in hearing this record, so I decided to give Time Skiffs a chance and give it a spin. One of Animal Collective's greatest gifts throughout their career has always been their sense of both melody and song progression. Their sort of psychedelic pop influences here from artists like the Beach Boys make songs like Dragon Slayer kind of childlike almost in the way that they have this very pretty but innocent sort of instrumentation, but with a very dark undertone that's kind of there throughout the entirety of the album. And I do think that there are just some genuinely really beautiful song progressions here, even if not every song is a total hit, in my opinion. Like I said, one of Animal Collective's greatest gifts has always been creating these just really gorgeous songs that are sort of very emotional and nostalgia inducing, even in their weaker moments, and I don't think that Time Skiffs is any exception in their discography. The instrumentation on Time Skiffs is solid as well, although nothing like particularly impressive or to write home about, but that's sort of become expected of Animal Collective in my opinion. I mean, after all, this is the kind of band that we're more and always have been about, sort of creating an atmosphere and sort of a sense of playfulness through their music rather than actually being based around the instrumentation. I mean, concept has always been ranked above performance throughout Animal Collective's career, for better or for worse, and that really just depends on album to album. But that isn't to say that there is bad musicianship here or there's a lack of musicianship here. It's performed well, and all four members of the group are capable of doing some really strong stuff instrumentally. It just so happens that both Time Skiffs as an album and Animal Collective as a, well, collective never have really focused on that aspect of their music all that much, at least not compared to other more notable aspects, like I said before, with atmosphere and emotion and just general delivery of that music. Time Skiffs also does instrumentally take from some sort of dub influences here, and that is added to songs like Car Keys, as well as the major highlight, in my opinion, Strong With Everything, where things begin to sound almost sort of exotic, and it meshes well with their traditional psychedelia sound and that psychedelic pop sound, and honestly, I don't really have much to say about this aspect of the record. Honestly, it goes well with the previously established Animal Collective concepts and overall ideas that they generally present on their albums. But that sort of dub influence doesn't really take it to the next level or anything like that. It just makes for a different album from Animal Collective instead of just repeating same ideas, which rarely do they ever, honestly. Which is a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. With sort of those repetitious moments in their discography acting as sort of just mediocre moments compared to the both great and equally bad moments. If I did have any major criticism for Time Skiffs, which I really don't, it would be that it's just a little too dense for my personal liking as far as production goes. You've got songs like Prester John that they're good, they're solid tracks. I'm not saying that they're bad or anything like that, they're good songs. It's just the fact that they sort of start to blend into themselves a little bit. I don't want to say they collapse in on themselves because that implies that they're bad. They're good songs. It's just they sort of after the 2.5, 3 minute mark, sort of just become a gray mess of absolutely nothing. Again, that nothing isn't bad or anything like that. It's just that I can tell that a lot of Time Skiffs is sort of trying to transport me to this world that Animal Collective are building, and it doesn't work. It's not working for me at all, honestly. And I mean, it's not that they're bad, it's just that for every really amazing song you have on here, you have another song that's just alright, pretty good. It's not it's not an even album in terms of quality, I'll say that much. So, overall, first of all, I thought I was gonna have a lot more to say about this album, but I really don't. But Time Skiffs is barely going to get the rating that I'm about to give it. I really would like to give it a little bit lower, but at the same time, even though there are some, and by some I mean about half the album is solid but not amazing or not even great tracks, there is enough really fantastic work here mixed with that sort of exotic influence and that sort of psychedelic surrealness that has always been present in Animal Collective's music. There's enough of that here to sort of at least boost it up half a star for me, at least. And with that being said, I'm going to give Time Skiffs 4 out of 5, 4 stars out of 5, I should say. I guess I did kind of come off as critical, probably, especially towards the end of the review, talking about how dense the album was, but it's not a bad album, and it's more than a good album. It's a great album. It's just not a really great album. I would recommend it if you like previous Animal Collective works, or you just want to hear some like pretty solid psychedelic. I think that this is a very recommendable album. But as it stands, I do think that if they had cut off about half of this album, I think it would have made for an amazing EP. But nonetheless, it's a very strong album. I do recommend it. 4 stars out of 5. And with that being said, that's the end of this review. So I will see you guys in the next one.